Well, speaking of people not wanting to do their job, Democrats are riding Los Angeles County right into the ground. I've grown up here my entire life. I've seen it where it's here, and let me tell you, it is down here. Anywhere you go in LA, movies will only show you the good parts. And even sometimes if you look closely, you can see the bad parts. You don't have to go far in LA to see prostitution, people passed out on drugs, poop on the ground. You can go to playgrounds and see syringes, drug use, razor blades. I mean, there was a time, and I think it is still happening, where every month they have to comb in certain areas of Los Angeles, the playground, so that kids don't pick up razors and use syringes from the homeless. Well, check this out. Los Angeles County council members will consider passing an initiative Friday that could force hotels to report vaccines and house homeless individuals in empty rooms. Unit Here Local 11, a progressive union representing 32,000 hospitality workers in Southern California and Arizona, reportedly gathered over 120,000 signatures for a proposed initiative ordinance that would require all hotels, luxury to family owned, to house the city's growing homeless population. Isn't that just lovely? I'm glad, I am glad that if there are any Democrats that are one of these owners of these hotels, that you're having to deal with this now because you're the ones that voted in this knucklehead, or you're one of the few that voted in this knucklehead to run the state into the ground. And I'm talking about Gavin Newsom, and I'm talking all the way down to the mayor of LA. They all suck. They all are terrible, and now you got this going on. Quote, it'll help create an emergency solution for people that need housing immediately. Maria Hernandez, communications director for the union. We have members that are on edge of potentially becoming homeless people. Hernandez said that the initiative would pick up where the Project Room Key initiative, which paid hotels to house homeless folks during the pandemic, left off. The measure would force each hotel by 2 p.m. You notice that word force, by 2 p.m. every day to report the number of available rooms at the hotel for that night. Ray Patel, president of the Northeast Los Angeles Hotel Owners Association, called the initiative crazy. Patel said the association's members are worried that the initiative, noting security concerns for his customers and staff. Yeah. I mean, you don't know who the hell they're allowing into that room, what type of damages they're going to do to that room, what they're going to do in that room. I mean, wild. This is Democrats for you. I know some of you don't want me to keep hounding them, but this is what they're doing, and I'm going to continue to hound them until they change what they're doing, because it is ridiculous. And this isn't even the only thing that they're doing. Wait till we get to the next story regarding what Democrats are doing in LA County in California. When I rent a room, I want to make sure my staff is safe. I want to make sure my paying guests are safe. And most importantly, my neighbors are complaining and are complimented and happy with my operation. They're not going to be if you got this type of stuff going on. Patel said the initiative said hotel owners could face legal challenges if they refuse any individual seeking shelter at their business. So because you are a private business owner, the government's going to tell you what you can do with your own business. Continued theme in Los Angeles, continued theme in Portland, Oregon, continued theme in Seattle, Washington, continued theme in New York, continued theme wherever you have these progressive leftists running the show. Patel said the initiative said hotel owners could face, again, legal challenges. A third-party sponsored ballot measure was kicked off, adding his office cannot comment on it before it ends up actually passing. And I would ask the proponents of what enforcement measures they are proposing within that ballot measure itself. Homelessness in Los Angeles County increased by approximately 13% at the beginning of 2020. According to the last annual point-in-time count, okay, listen carefully. Are you sitting down for this? It's going to blow your mind. More than 66,000 homeless people in the county were experiencing homelessness, with over 41,000 in the city. Folks, we have over a quarter of the nation's homeless population. All of the United States, 1/4 of it is in one tiny county. Do you think there's a little bit of an incentive here that the progressive left and Democrat Party are putting in place for a flock of homeless people coming from all over the United States to be here? And now they're giving them more incentives to come here by giving them shelter? And then they can't figure out why everybody's going to vote red. They just can't wrap their hands around it. The same the same people that can't wrap their heads around what's about to happen are the same people that are giving 40 out of 100 on a critic score for the terminal list, while everybody else is giving it 94 out of 100. The disconnect is just ridiculous. So there's a disconnect there, and this one just really got to get you going. While many COVID-related policies have expired across the majority of the country, Los Angeles County recently voted to renew its eviction moratorium, which has caused widespread frustration and extreme difficulty for some property owners. You always see this from the Democrat Party and the progressive left. You always screw over one party. And I'm not talking about the Republican Party. You screw over somebody with some sort of initiative that they're trying to put in place to benefit somebody else. All the time. You see this with affirmative action. Screw the whites, screw the Asians, screw the Hispanics. Oh, you're a black person? Perfect. We'll just let you in. Oh, that guy did better than you on the SAT, had a harder life, did all these other things. That doesn't matter. The guy's black, let him on in. Right? So you're benefiting one group of people and just totally screwing over somebody else with certain policies. This is happening right here. Benefiting the tenants, screwing the landowners for multiple years now. Quote, our home has been stolen from us so that tenants, one of whom owns a DeLorean, can go to Burning Man and rent yachts for birthday parties and sail up in hot air balloons, a Los Angeles property owner said at a recent press conference. Our home has been stolen from us, not by our tenants, but by the overly broad policies created under Mayor Garcetti, upheld by the majority of our city council. People vote these idiots in all the time, every freaking year. Quote, you can't walk into your neighborhood grocery store and say, because food is a necessity, I'm going to walk out without paying. No, you can. You can. I know that Cheryl Turner, the board president of the Apartment Association of Greater Los Angeles, said that. But no. You literally can, in Los Angeles County now, just walk in and just take stuff without paying for it. You have Prop 47 in place where literally you could steal almost $1,000, roughly $950 of goods, and you're not going to be prosecuted for it. I mean, how many smash and grabs have we seen of people walking in Louis Vuitton, Bloomingdale's, Walgreens, Rite Aid, stealing a bunch of crap and going, oh, well, because I was oppressed, my family was oppressed, and all these other things, I deserve this stuff, I deserve this product. Oh, there's discrimination happening, all these people are getting arrested, bought, whatever it may be. Oh, I deserve this stuff. This is a necessity. While they're taking chapstick, lip balm, deodorant, toothpaste. Oh, I need to feed my family. Really? With Dawn dish soap, you're gonna feed your family with that? You have grocery bags. Okay, just grocery bags, not food in them. You just stole grocery bags. You stole freaking garbage bags, but you're gonna feed your family. No, you're right. You're right. So she's wrong on that note. But she goes on to say, but we are criticized by asserting our rights to collect our rent. An eviction moratorium essentially ensures landlords can't evict tenants if they don't pay rent. Yes, you heard me correctly. This has been going on for years now. An eviction moratorium essentially ensures landlords can't evict tenants if they don't pay rent. Folks, the property tax here in LA County is astronomical. Just the property tax. You're not talking about the utilities. You're not talking about the gas. You're not talking about the water. We live in California. Shiz is expensive, folks. Okay? And now you're not getting rent, so you're footing the bill on everything. On everything for years. People are okay with a little bit. Look, we all want to help people out. And I'm speaking as somebody that's family has multiple properties. We're okay with helping people out for a little bit. We don't want to sit there and screw people over. We have hearts here, especially Christians. But when you're talking years you're going on and you're supposed to foot the bill and just allow somebody to live basically rent-free while they're going off doing all these extravagant things and you're footing the bill, barely skating by, maybe taking out more credit cards just to pay off stuff. California put an eviction moratorium in place during the pandemic, and it fully ended on June 30th of this year. Still, the LA City Council recently voted to extend its own moratorium again. It will remain in place through August of next year. You're talking like 3 years of this. Or up to 1 year after the local emergency declaration ends. Another vote is expected later this year. Theoretically, the tenants will owe the rent when the moratorium ends. Theoretically. But collecting that money won't be easy in many cases. Landlords will have the right to evict at that time. So basically, you get to live rent-free for years. I can't pay it. Oh, oops. Okay, you got to evict them. What, are you going to take them to small claims court? Maybe you'll win. They don't have any money, supposedly. So you got to deal with that whole debacle. It's not even small claims court because the amount of rent that you would owe I think would surpass the limit of what small claims court is. And for some reason, small claims court is what is it? Is it 10 or 15? Somebody let me know down below. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's nowhere near, because rent in California is through the roof, especially Los Angeles County. So it's going to be probably higher than what you can actually claim in small claims court. Landlords will have the right to evict them at that time, but in the meantime, many of these landlords are unable to pay their mortgages. At a recent press conference at City Hall, landlords argued that the eviction moratorium could bankrupt some of them and force them into foreclosure. They say that some tenants are taking advantage of the program. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they take advantage? For some reason, these progressive left just thinks everybody's a good person, that nobody's going to take advantage of this situation. In the same way, they want to take away your guns as if nobody's going to take advantage of the situation. Oh, you don't have a gun? Perfect. I'm going to rob your ass for everything you're worth right now. You don't have any way to protect yourself? Perfect. Put your hands up. Give me everything in the cash register. This is how idiots think. This is how idiots think. And they just reproduce. They just replicate. So you got more idiots voting in other idiots. Those on the other side of the issue say the moratorium is necessary because people are still struggling to make ends meet. Okay, I'm 100% sure that is the case, okay? Obviously. I went to Starbucks the other day. There was a gentleman standing out front of Starbucks with a sign. I've seen this before. He had his wife with him and like 5 or 6 kids just standing there in a shopping mall, like an outdoor shopping mall. Now, some people might say, oh man, I feel bad for them. I was telling, I don't feel bad for that person. There's so many help wanted signs. It is head spinning. Literally, if that guy would walk less than a mile down the road, you can get paid over $20 an hour at Panda Express to scoop food onto a plate. But you're going to stand there with a sign in front of, with your family out there. Just go, have her go, take care of the kids. You go walk and just put in applications galore. And the people are like, well, that's messed up, Brad. This happens all over California where people are doing this. There's been news outlets that will track some of these people. They'll stand out there all day. They'll follow them to their brand new truck or their vehicle. They have a lovely house. They're making over 6 figures a year, some of these people are. It is crazy what is going on. That's why I don't give them money. If they want a hot meal, I will go buy them a meal. Again, I'm a person of faith. You want a water? I'll buy you a water. You want a hot meal? I'll buy you a hot meal. I'm not giving you cash. Breaks my heart to see you with your family like that. But this homeless issue is going on in Los Angeles County. You got them screwing over landowners now, property owners. And you got people living rent-free for years that aren't going to sit there and have all that back rent, that back pay being given back to the landlords. There's a set date, or given a set date, something they can look forward to and they can plan for the future. The eviction moratorium has got to end. Rent might come an even more problematic issue in the state due to the inflation and state law signed in 2019 called the Tenant Protection Act. Doesn't allow landlords to raise the rent more than 5% each year. Plus the percentage change in the cost of living, in other words, inflation. They could also increase it by 10%, whichever amount is lower in the past. The total increase has been between 5.7 and 9% because inflation is so freaking high under the Biden administration. But like I said, 10% cap is usually what you're going to see, but it doesn't apply to all housing. However, some landlords could technically raise rents more depending on certain numbers, depending on certain circumstances. You don't really see that too much here in LA County. Like you heard, the number is about 5 to 9% of what you're going to see as an increase. I know my rent has increased pretty substantially over the last year, but look, landlords are taking a massive hit and it's not okay. Whenever somebody's putting in some sort of policy, you have to think of who's it affecting? Whose liberty is it affecting? Whose rights are it affecting? And a lot of time we just focus on one group of people when we have to focus on 2 groups of people. Furthermore, we have to see not just the short-term benefit or ramifications, but we have to see the long-term benefit or ramifications as well. They're looking at the short-term and have been looking at the short-term for quite some time going, well, there's a pandemic, everything was shut down. People are going to understand, hey, I'm not able to pay my rent for a little while. We're going on now for what they want, 3 years of not paying rent. You're not going to be able to pay that back because you're talking, some rent, if you do $2,000, even 2 years, you're looking at $48,000 in rent. Who the hell just has $48,000 plus dollars laying around for rent? And that's me lowballing it. If we're talking about housing here, your rent's more than $2,000. And this is being footed, all this, by the tenants? It's crazy. It's just crazy. Of course, you can maybe take a loss. or you're not reporting any income, so you would have a loss on your Schedule E for your tax return for that rental property. And depending on what you have, that can be carried over for a certain amount of years. So there is a little bit of a benefit there, but that benefit is not proportional to what they're having to deal with. I can go on for freaking hours on this. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.